I've seen a lot of the classic dating app openers, but this is a new one. He messaged me, start an argument like we're a married couple. So I sent him, did you really cheat on me with the nanny? And he messaged me back, at least I didn't get so drunk that I made everyone at the PTA meeting play strip poker. Forgot I did that. But I'm trying here. So I said, at least I make an effort to be involved in our son's life. Unlike you. What do you think I was doing, spending time with him and the nanny? Girl. I think it's obvious that she is the problem. She needs to go. And maybe it's time to talk about boarding school again so that we can work on our marriage. And then things got a little heated. Does he even care about me? I don't know. I don't feel like it. But then he said, this is getting so heated. Let's get dinner to talk about it. What's your number?
This is an interesting way to do things, but I guess it could work.
You don't go to church, you're cut. Because what are we doing? Get up on Sunday and go to church. You're a grown-ass man. You don't have your own relationship with God, you're cut. Don't make me be a believer of Christ and, oh, well, she believes in God, so I'm good because I'm with her. No, you need to have your own relationship with Christ, okay? You use Snapchat as your main form of communication, you're cut. Actually, if you use Snapchat in general, you're cut because you're grown. Why do we have Snapchat? No. If you vape, you're cut. Y'all hold on to those vapes, okay? Like, literally, if someone took that thing out of your hand, you would rather fight World War III to get that vape back. Y'all are doing too much, skiving. You're a crackhead. No, if you vape, you're cut. You don't prioritize your health. You don't work out and you don't eat clean. You don't eat healthy. You're cut. You don't listen. You just all the time and you don't want to listen. You're cut. You have kids, you're cut. Been there, done that, will not do that again. You have any sort of baby mama, you're cut. Because, oh, no, we're cool, we co-parent. No, you're not. You're not. You're lying, you're not. You're cut. You can't dress, no, because we put that on over here, okay? You need to match me, okay? Match my vibe, match my swag. If you don't have that, you're cut. Not motivated, you're cut.
So a woman here in the comments says, I'm not judging, but babe, why are we talking about church and God and cursing in the same sentence? And she says, Christians aren't perfect. So you want a man to be perfect, but you ain't perfect. It's interesting. Then she also says, we got to do X, Y, and Z. We got to match. We got to do X, blah, blah, blah. And you got to basically, I dress down is what she said. So from her saying that, I can almost guarantee that she doing something that she's wearing something that she's not supposed to wear. I can almost guarantee from her nails, from the whole aesthetic, the way her face looks, all of this cut that she's been talking about, she's wearing something skimpy. And I'm just going to go down. I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm just going to go down a list. I mean, this is kind of This is kind of you know, but we talking about being Christ-centered, right? But, you know, to some people that might not be a big deal. Yeah. Yeah. So this is just a little video. Oh, there she is in a little bikini. But you know what? It could just be, you know, nobody cares about that. So we're going to go back to direct. Y'all think this is all right? I already knew. Nah. She got more stuff around here with her bikini on. Nah, you're cut. You could, and drink it? Bruh, come on. Bro. You can, cut. Somebody said tag her. Somebody said tag her. Dang. I said tag her friend. Nah, you're cut. Nah, you're cut, bro. Say they want to do all that talking. Nah. Oh, you got another one. So y'all are involved in debauchery together. That is interesting. Yeah, nah, I'm good on that. I'm good on that, bruh. See, now this looks fun. I ain't gonna lie to you. It look like they about to have a blast. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't even gonna hate. Yeah, they look. Now they look like they gonna have a little fun now. So I mean, if that's your vibe, you might like her, right? You might not care about that. But my point is, if you're gonna do all this talking about this type of stuff, you got to make the cut too. You got to make the cut too. You know. So and it looked like she have a good mix of friends that come along, and you know, they kind of hang out together. So that's cool too. I ain't hating on that. But all I'm saying is, if you're gonna talk about somebody else, then you gotta be you can't be doing you can't be doing crazy stuff either. That's all I'm saying.
It honestly kind of makes me a little bit sad that on my dating videos, I feel like a lot of women comment. Okay, so I feel like it's collective feeling. I mean, like, it's really weird because I feel like a lot of women want to be approached, or they want to be in a relationship, or they want to date or whatever. Do men feel the same? Like, genuinely, do men feel the same way? And I'm just asking, like, out of curiosity, like, is there like a problem where like men feel like women don't want to be like approached, or like don't want to be in a relationship? Like, do they, like, are they scared? It's like a genuine question, okay? Because I've been getting like a lot of feedback, okay, like comments, DMs, whatever, on my last video, which was about like dating, and a lot of people are like, yeah, it's the same, and I don't see a lot of like men. I do get some like DMs from men saying the same thing, but like I wonder if men feel the same way, or if they're like intimidated to like talk. Like, what do we do? Like, how do we fix this genuinely?
I'd rather drag my balls across the desert with 2 fat on my back than to be a provider man.
Hey, I have a question. And I want all of the women to sound off in the comment section. And I'm not even here to judge y'all. I genuinely I want to have a better understanding of this. So if a straight man comes on the internet and says, I don't want to live my life to be in a relationship with a woman as this idea or fixation of being the sole provider, so that you can live your life comfortably while I spend the last 60 years of my life working like a dog so that you can be comfortable, and all I'm doing is just breaking my back so that I can provide for you. If a man says that he doesn't want to live his life that way, if a straight man says, I don't want to be in a relationship with a woman that already has kids, I would rather be in a relationship with a woman that doesn't have kids, and then we have that discussion together that we would like to have kids together. Okay. If a straight man says all those things, how do we end up with, oh, but that's because he wants a man. That's because he's gay. I'm just trying to understand. Why is that always the first thing that women go to? And I genuinely would like to know that. Because I don't understand that. What is that like mentality? Because I don't personally see anything wrong with a man saying that he has no desire to be the sole provider for a woman. Not him saying, I don't ever want to provide. I don't ever want to gift. I don't ever want to be her support system. I just don't want to be in a relationship with someone that has no desire to still strive for greatness in her own lane, to still go after her own goals, to still be a working woman, to still have her independence. I don't want to be with someone that just wants to lay back in the house and just take money out of my account. I'm trying to understand, if that's how a straight man feels, how do we keep ending up in the comment section with thousands of women saying, well, that's because he wants a man? I don't understand that. I really don't understand that, because in my mind, all of the status quos, all of the things that a man is supposed to do. Now let's flip it. Don't women get upset if a man comes into a relationship and says, well, you're the woman, so you're supposed to do X, Y, and Z? I thought y'all didn't like that. Am I confused? Am I lost? I thought women didn't want a man to come up in a relationship and be like, oh, well, you're supposed to cook. You're supposed to clean. You're supposed to screw me every night. You're supposed to take care of the kids. You're supposed to. I thought women didn't like no shit like that. So if women don't like men coming up in their face talking about, oh, well, just because I'm a woman, I'm supposed to do X, Y, and Z, then I'm trying to understand, why is it that women put all of these things on men that they are supposed to do? And then when they don't want to do those things, automatically he's gay. I don't understand that. Somebody help me understand, please.
Well, the woman is saying, I need the option. That's not to say that I'm going to take it, but I need the option. It's like a car or a subscription that they purchase. They probably not going to use all of the features, especially like, say, for instance, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need no man. I'm probably going to keep on working until I retire, and I'm probably going to be busy after I retire, because that's just what I'm used to doing. I'm just used to working. I'm just used to doing things, right? But if something should come up, or if I need to go on a different journey, or my mental health takes a turn, then I need to know that my man's got it. I need to know that I can, say for instance, I work for 5 years and I need a break. I need to know that he's got it. He can take on the stuff while I take off maybe a year or 2 years and I quote unquote come back stronger. Never mind that the man might need the same thing. He's the provider. He's built differently. So I'm not about to support a man for 2 years, right? I might support him for maybe a couple of months while he looks for a different job or he takes some time off. But, it's not going to be indefinite like I expect him to do for me, right? And I say 2 years for the woman taking off for like her mental health journey or something like that. But really, it's indefinite. It's indefinite. If I don't feel like I want to go back. If I feel like, hey, this rat race or the corporate job is too much for me, I don't want to do it anymore, then that should be my right to do that, because my husband, as the provider, would say to me, no, it's okay. You can take some time off, or you can take that time off. You can quit that job and, do something, or you can do nothing, because he's the man. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for a man to give them the option. So that's why they say, this is how you take care of a woman. If you want a woman to work and continue to work and not have the option to explore her passion, and when exploring her passion is stopped or it's stifled, then she's going to be in her masculine and not her feminine. And if that's what you want, then you want a man. We're creative. We're flowers. We bloom. We're beautiful. And the things that come out of a flower is a sweet scent. It's a sweet smell. And it takes time. That takes time. The flower has to be watered. It has to be sown into. It has to be planted in the right field. It has to be given the proper amount of sunlight. It has to be tended to. It has to be taken care of. The flower is a delicate thing. And if you want somebody, the gardener, the person who is gardening, right? Never mind, you have a field of flowers that nobody even ever touched. It just happened that way. We're just saying the person who's going to come in and garden. The gardener is the one who does all of the hard work. The man is the one that's he's got the physical strength. He doesn't have a period. He doesn't have a cycle. He doesn't get pregnant. So he can continue working. That would be you, sir, the gardener. He can continue working and working hard so that I, as the flower, would be able to sit back and just bloom and grow. And what you get out of the flower, if you really understand the divine femininity, what you're going to get out of the flower is you're going to get something that's beautiful. It's going to smell good. It's going to elevate your experience of your house. And you got to be able to afford that. Some of these flowers, So these women are, some of these modern women are equating themselves to flowers. And okay, say you pick like some random lilies or something like that in the field, right? Those are free. You know, those are your bottom of the barrel women. But me, I'm a little bit more expensive. I'm rare. I don't know what a rare flower is, but you know, roses aren't really all that rare. But if I am a rose, I'm a rose. Say we're in the United States, I'm a rose imported from, I don't know, Puerto Rico or Brazil, or, you know, not many Americans are going to go to Brazil, bring a flower back and be able to take care of it while it's being imported and shipped over here. Not many people are going to be able to do that, right? So I'm imported over. So you're going to pay a higher dollar amount for me, and then you're going to know how to keep me and maintain me and care for me. And you might even have to bring a professional in to maintain me. I'm expensive. You see how it works? You understand how they get to where if you want this, then you want a man. Because a man works. A man is not delicate. A man doesn't really need maintenance. I mean, look at you guys. Some of you guys use the 3-in-1 body wash and shampoo and conditioner. I need a skincare routine, a separately 4, 5, 6, 7 step skincare routine. I need my makeup routine that's going to take me about an hour and a half. At the very least, it's going to take me 30 minutes to 45 minutes if I'm doing a quick look. Okay. I need clothes. I need to look the part of the person that I'm trying to be, even if I'm not that person yet. That takes maintenance. That takes care. You got to see the vision. You got to understand what you're investing in. This is what modern women are going to say. That's what they're going to talk about, even though on the outside, I know you feel like that, and on the inside, but on the outside, who your actions, who you are, right? Those two don't always coincide. And so a man says, I hear all of that, but you're not that person. I know you want to be that person. You want that lifestyle, but you're not really that person. And that's where the disconnect comes in a lot of times, is that these modern women are thinking I can get anything that I want because I'm a delicate flower. And if he doesn't want to give me that, then he wants a man.
I was a guest on a podcast today, and the last question they asked me was, what is one piece of advice that you would leave with female therapists who are working with men? I was so close to giving like a really easy, safe softball answer, and I literally stopped myself and was like, said out loud, like, I'm just gonna go for it and be brutally honest, because like, what am I doing talking about this if I'm not going to be that? The one piece of advice that I would give female therapists is the piece of advice I would give because I don't think many other therapists are willing to say it. I think there are a lot of therapists who would disagree with it. My advice is to be very, very careful and cautious bringing up privilege in your therapy work with men. This may to some of you be like, no, like, how is that going to be therapeutic? Isn't that shaming? Like, I do believe it can be. There are also, therapy approaches and schools of thought that are like, we should be challenging these systems and we should be talking about this and we should be understanding the dynamics at play and, helping people understand their role or experience in it and the impact of the patriarchy and all these things. Maybe there is a time and a place. And maybe there are teachable moments, or there are ways that could like really serve a client. But I think there are lots of times where that may serve someone else. Kind of like we do with self-disclosure. Like, am I sharing this for the client? Or am I sharing this for me? Or am I sharing it for somebody else? Like, am I sharing it for the benefit of the client in this moment? I am of the belief that in this moment, men have very few spaces where they can show up and be honest about their struggle. And if my reply to that is to note how much privilege they have and how much harder it would be for them if they weren't a man, how is that helping that client who's in pain? How are we not making him feel so alone? And in that moment, think like, I really can't tell anybody then. If I can't talk to my therapist about this, who can I talk to? Not to mention, my clients know they have privilege. How are you a dude existing in the world right now, not realizing that you're like 2 seconds away from a woman being like, check your privilege, right?
Well, what you're going to run into. And really, this is, what there's a lot of ladies that do this as therapists. They feel like, kind of like you said, they're fighting the system from the inside or whatever. If I'm acting like I'm helping men and then I'm telling them the truth and I'm being blunt. Now, I think you take an approach like this to where you don't BS men. Like you don't, hey, we're talking about you and we're telling you the truth and we're trying to get you on the right track. But it's not like, now think of all of the damage that you've done. That's the therapy. That's the session. Just sitting there talking about how terrible of a person they are and how trash of a person they are and stuff like that. I like that you said, well, it's a time and place for that. We can let them know what's going on. We can let them know, hey, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to show up and it be effective. Like say it and this is how and why a lot of coaches are effective as men, because they know how to talk to men. A lot of women will see a man really getting on a young man, really getting on him, and oh man, he's really giving the business. So I can do that too, because that's what they respond to. You have to know how to do it, and that coach has spent time with that young man. That coach might have even been over that young man's house, had dinner with him, might have met his parents and said, hey, listen, this is what's going on with him. This is what I've observed. And this is what I'm doing to try to get him back on the right track. That's a lot of coaches have done that with single moms. Hey, I know you're at work all the time and I know you can't really get to your son all the time and talk to him, but this is what we've noticed. And I've talked to the other coaches about it and some of the teachers about it. They go above and beyond to connect and to communicate with the whole network and say, hey, we're trying to get this young man to be a good, productive member in society. And what he's doing and what he's exhibiting right now is unhealthy. And we got to help him get back to whatever it is. And so I'm coming to you, after hours. I should be at home with my family. I should be chilling. But because I care about him, I'm coming to you after hours and I'm saying, hey, have you noticed this in your son? Do you see this? What can you tell me about him? What did he used to be like? And now I'm taking that information back and then I'm creating a plan in order to get him back on the right track. And I try to talk to him. Okay, you're doing a great job. Let's go. Come on, hustle. But then also you transition to, come on, man, you can do better than that. And you talk to him a little bit more firm and to the point that sometimes, he's almost there. And you can see his body wants to quit. And you can see his mind wants to quit. But you say, and you talk to him a little bit harder. No, don't you quit. You're right there. Come on. Dig deep. You got that last little bit. Don't you quit on me. Don't you do this. You ain't this. Da, da, da. And that's when all the, kind of the rough speak comes out, right? Hey, and the young man responds to it, or the man responds to it, because you understand where I'm coming from. You know me. You've connected it, and I know you see me, right? You're not trying to destroy me. You're trying to say, don't you quit. Don't you do that. I know you want to. Don't you do that. Right? Keep it up. You're almost, you can see the finish line right there. Don't do it. Modern women see this and they say, okay, I'm just going to start talking to him like a dog without building any rapport, anything. And they're actually insults. It's actually an insult. Anyways, the point is talking to the young man, getting an understanding of what's going on and saying, now I would say this, and addressing his problem first, but then saying, now I would say this. In this world, let me ask you a question. In this world, what do you think about this, or frame it a certain way of the patriarchy? As a therapist, you should be good at that because you've practiced it. What do you think about the patriarchy, and do you feel like you have privilege in certain situations where this, and this? Actually never even thought about that. I don't know. Okay. Well, and then you go back to the problem and say, well, I was noticing with this is and the problem. And I think just based on what you said, maybe you should explore this over here. Right. But then also there might be a broader point for you to explore. Maybe read this article by so-and-so and such, and see if that resonates That'll be your homework. And you know, tell me what you think. Versus, you should read this article because this is definitely you. This is you to see. A lot of you white men don't understand. A lot of you black men don't understand. This and that. Don't do that, because then all of a sudden you're going to turn them off and be like, whoa, I thought I was trying to get help. I'm aware that I have issues. That's why I'm here to get help. I'm not paying you for you to run me down. Right. So I think you're right in saying there's a time and place to have these discussions. And there's a way to have these discussions with men. And I don't think I think there are a lot of ladies out there, and even men, you know, out there that are therapists that don't know how to do that and guide the conversation in a manner that's helpful for the man's overall mental health and his stability and his mental stability.
Every female that I've trained, I've done something with her. Bro, the game is so gone. Listen, it's so bad. It's unbelievable. I got a friend, he's a personal trainer. Bro, please out. She was married, yeah? She was, listen, I got this wedding coming. I want to get in shape. Bro, they get married. A week before honeymoon, he chopped it, bro. Wow.
So I have a pretty good story about this. Now, I don't have a definite percentage, but I would say at least 30 to 50% of male trainers are smashing their female clients. It happens very often, too often. Now, sometimes they're both to blame. Sometimes there is really thirsty male trainers that are flirting with the girl clients, and the girl clients maybe have some low self-esteem. They just got out of a breakup. Maybe they're not their dream body, and they can pretty much be manipulated very easily. I see that very often. Now, on the flip side, there are some girl clients that will just throw themselves at the trainer, and, you know, guys are guys. They're going to say yes sometimes. Now, morally, I've never done that. I would never sleep with a girl that has a boyfriend or husband in the first place. Also, I like money a lot more than getting laid personally, but to each their own. When it comes to in-person training, I think I would genuinely tell my girlfriend or wife, no, you're not having a male trainer, because I know how men think and I know what happens behind the scenes. It ain't happening. But hey, what do I know?
So I'm at work right now, and we doing like training, and so mostly everybody's just kind of talking during the breaks, and I'm talking to them sitting next to me. Not that he's something else, but I'm talking to this man sitting next to me. He got like a really solid beard. I don't know how we got on like facial hair. I said, you got like some good facial hair. You know what I mean? Like your shit growed in right there. Like your shit's thick. He talking about this not even my usual facial hair. I'm actually about to cut this off. I said, like clean shaven? Clean shaven? I could barely get it out, child. He said, yeah, clean shaven. I said, ew. Everybody around us start laughing. I felt a little bad, not really, but I'm just like, clean shaven to me, anytime I see a man who's completely clean shaven, bro, no facial hair at all, weirdo. You seem super weird to me, because why the f don't you have any facial hair? Why is your face clean as, bro? What are you trying to appear younger? You're 36. What the?
I have a male friend, and we were talking about like the whole dating world, and he told me there's 2 things he looks out for in a woman's social media. He said if she posts half-naked photos, that's a red flag, and he's valid for that, because that just shows that that girl is mad insecure and really just wants people's validation. So facts. But he also said a woman who posts like, you know, has a bunch of stories of her traveling. And I was like, yo, what's the big deal about that? I don't get it. People travel. He's like, nah, there's a difference. If she's alone in every photo, that means she's getting... I was like, yeah, you're right. Because I know a lot of girls that travel alone. Okay? They're not. They are getting... And I was like, well, what about the girls who go out with, you know, they go travel with their friends? I know a couple of girls like that. He's like, probably getting less likely. But the ones who post alone are getting... And I'm like, God damn. That's smart thinking.
The very first reason that I see that men are struggling to want to approach women is actually that we see there's research that indicates men are actually avoiding approaching women due to concerns about him feeling like there's a new concept of social norms, and he's afraid of facing potential backlash, which he might feel like she could react poorly. This research was done in 2024, but basically what that means, which I understand is a little confusing, is men are feeling like maybe they are not supposed to be the one reaching out. Like maybe it's wrong to be dominant or going after what he wants. That might not be necessarily what he thinks is expected of him any longer. And so he feels like there's a new norm where he's not supposed to reach out, and he might receive backlash for doing that. Maybe he'll be called old-fashioned or controlling or whatever it may be, or he might feel like it might constitute around harassment or something of that sort, to which he feels he doesn't want to put himself in that position naturally. Who would? And so he's feeling like he doesn't necessarily want to put himself in that kind of harm because that's harmful to him. And so that's the first reason. Again, research done in 2024. It's going to be in the description box. But the second reason I thought was really interesting, this study was done in 2018. And we actually saw that some men, actually many men, according to this research, but the sample size is kind of limited, but still, men prefer using dating apps or online platforms to meet potential partners instead of face-to-face because they feel like it's less intimidating for the female he's trying to approach, but also for himself. He might feel like it's safer for himself. He doesn't really know who she is either. And it's a lot easier than going up to some stranger and possibly getting humiliated in front of a bunch of people, or for her to say something cruel or painful or embarrassing, to which he might feel like a simpler vehicle to use to connect with other individuals is actually to use online dating apps. Now, I think this can be helpful, but I also think it can create a dynamic to which there are plenty of men on these apps. I don't know if this is true, but I think one of you guys said there was research on it. I didn't look into that particular research, but I think in the comments, a lot of you guys said there's a lot more men on dating apps. I don't know. I'm not familiar with dating apps. There are more men using them than ladies. And so I wonder if that's part of the dynamic, considering this research does say men prefer using dating apps. I wonder if that is why more men are on dating apps, because they prefer it over, I don't know. So in that way, maybe this could be used from another standpoint. Maybe you can get leverage by meeting people in person if this is one of the potential barriers. I don't know, but I imagine a lot of you guys can relate to this. Obviously, I'm not a man, I'm just sharing information, but I hope this part was helpful. I think some men actually do prefer face-to-face. But the other reason I think is more important for us to clarify, a lot of people actually in session even bring it up. And I've seen this where they're afraid to be perceived as creepy, like particularly that word was pretty common, or like inappropriate.
Somebody in the comments here said cost benefit analysis results in no thanks. Somebody said juice is not worth squeeze. Somebody else said the price is too high. Somebody said I don't date anymore because it's not worth giving up my peace. Another guy says y'all call police or just say no. Why bother? Women can reach out too. There's a lot of things, and I see a guy up here that says, let me reach out to an unpaid bill. See another person say, also add in that it's a waste of time. Another guy says, not a struggle for me, I just ignore them. That's pretty much it, right? That's pretty much it. The unrealistic expectations of a lot of these modern women is what is driving men to say, no thanks, I'm good on that. I'm all right. I think I'll be okay. I don't have time for foolishness. Think about, especially for the things that men go through every day in the world, walking into a situation to where you pretty much know the woman is going to clown you. How many, or the person, or let's take the women out of it. You're walking into a situation to where you know it's going to be pretty much a failure. It's been a failure for the past 10, 15 years. And nothing has really changed. You've done different approaches. You've listened to different seminars, gone to different conferences, gotten coaching on it, and nothing is working. What would you do? You would have probably quit 5 years ago. Probably 2 years into it, you would have quit. But what modern women are asking men to do is continue the same thing over and over again. But just accept that it's going to be the same result. Keep on coming up to us. Keep on talking to us. Keep on trying to get our number. We're going to say no. Yeah, you're going to get clowned, but that comes with the territory. Yeah, you're going to get end up on Instagram or TikTok, but that comes with the territory. Yeah, you're going to get women that freak out and possibly call the cops on you and post you on TikTok and really embarrass you and try to ruin your reputation, but that comes with the territory. Yeah, you might be seen as a creeper in your community where you've built a reputation of being an honest, hardworking man, but that comes with the territory. Be a man. You're supposed to take all of this. You're supposed to not care. You're supposed to accept all of this disrespect. Comes with the territory. No, I don't know a lot of men that are going to sit up here and allow that.
Years ago, my parents and I were on our way to dinner when suddenly my mom starts yelling, just out of the blue. 2 seconds ago, we were all laughing and giggling, and now we are being yelled at. I'm in the back like, ooh, seems like my dad did something. I'm innocent, so I'll just be sitting here in silence and just observing. My dad's like, what the just happened? What'd I do? My mom's like, oh, you want to act dumb with me? That's what you want to do. My dad's like, okay, well, I must be dumb because what the happened? My mom's holding something. She goes, where the did this come from? My dad goes, what the is that? Firstly, let me know. My mom goes, okay, yeah, sure, I'll play this game with you. It's a woman's heel. Who the was in this car? Who? The only women I've had in this car are you and my daughter, so it has to be yours. She goes, oh, okay, yeah, I don't know what shoes I own, right? I would never buy shoes with a heel like that. So come up with something else. He's like, the last person I had in my car was a man. Okay, so you want me to believe that your male friend wears women's boots? I don't know what he wears. I've never looked at his feet. Maybe he does. I couldn't tell you. Mind you, I'm sitting in the back watching all of this, and I'm like, ooh, he's about to get the shit beaten out of him. Calls his friend. He's like, hey, did you break your shoe in my car? His friend's like, no. What the fuck are you talking about, freak? My mom's like, oh, well, now you know when you're lying, don't call him, right? Because he's not sticking up for you. My dad's like, okay, but here's the thing. I'm not lying, though, so I don't know what to tell. Like, I genuinely don't know where that came from. Anyways, turns out it was my mom's. It was.
And of course, you have people in the comments asking, so did she apologize? I don't see anywhere that she said that she did. Another person says, there's that women's intuition working for you. Yep. Other woman says, sometimes you just have to make sure. No, you don't. You don't. But you're wrong, though. I think is what it was. You're wrong. A woman said, I laughed so hard because that is literally me. Interesting. She said, I found a hair clip in his truck and was like, it's not mine. And we pulled up Amazon. It was, in fact, mine. It came in a pack. And did you apologize to him? The answer is probably no. A guy responded and said, men really need to start leaving women who accuse them of cheating. They'd leave their man if asked for a paternity test. Men should do the same. Men should do the same. And you know what's funny about this comment here, where she said, I laughed so hard because that's literally me? 609 people liked it. 609 people liked it. 609 people liked it. Another guy says, my ex went off on me because she found lip gloss in my car, so I had to remind her that I was taking her oldest daughter to work and school nearly every day. Somebody else said she apologized, right? No likes on that. No likes on that at all.
So all the men from my previous post saying that they have found peace by being alone and they're not trying to date because they just want peace. Are you trying to say that we don't bring peace to your life? I have to disagree. I do not think that if a woman that you so desired was available to you, you would choose peace over commitment, sex, good meals with conversation, and things like that. So I'm going to call your bluff because I don't think that's true. This, by the way, is not police lights. This is some kind of flashing light in a parking lot. I'm not quite sure what it is. But anyway, again, calling your bluff. Okay?
Guys in the comments saying you just made our point. Another guy says, literally arguing the point and showing exactly why we're right. Another guy says, that's exactly what we mean. Your video is a reminder that the single life is so peaceful and refreshing. Another person says, you're already arguing with us and you don't know us. I think some of these ladies are so put off that somebody wouldn't want them. Like me, look at me. I mean, I can probably guarantee you that, just if I start looking at her page, she thinks that she looks fantastic. Why wouldn't anybody not want me? I'm a 10 out of 10. I'm educated, I have a nice car, I'm a good person, I'm stunning. Why would anybody not want me?
So I'm hanging out with this guy this weekend. We're at his house, and I've been hanging out with him, but we're not in a serious relationship, okay? We're not exclusive, right? So we're looking through his camera roll. Don't ask me why. And he's laying down next to me, and I'm holding his phone. He's letting me, by the way. Like, I'm basically like holding his phone. I'm driving the boat, okay? So I'm looking through the camera roll. He's next to me, and I find this picture of him, and he looks hot. Really hot. I mean, no shirt, chiseled. It's in the summer. He's tan. You see his tats all on his arm. Like, I was like, damn. So I go, okay, I need to send this to myself right now. He's like, yeah, send it. I'm again holding the phone. And so I click the picture and I go to send it to myself. Now in messages, like when you send a picture or whatever, it'll like pop up if you're going to send it to someone, like whoever you talk to the most. So it's like my name first, right? And then we've got another girl's name next to me. So I go, should I send it to your little friend too? And I'm like, because I can't play cool. I don't have a cool bone in my body. So I'm like, oh, so you're texting other girls. And he looks at me, pauses, and goes, you're texting other guys. Okay, it's not about me. It's not about me right now. This is about you. That wasn't the question, okay? That wasn't the question.
But sir, I do understand how much you love tatted oiled up Latinas. That's why I'm counter offering you 24/7 access to my PS5 with Ethernet cable connection and unlimited access to pineapple juice. That way you can easily get consensually milked 24/7 in my basement. Take it or leave it.
This dude said, throw in some banana bread and we have a deal. Stupid.
In the past week, I have seen people say that it's not okay to approach a woman who happens to be working, like maybe she's at a coffee shop. I've seen people say that it's not okay to approach a woman when she's working out or at all at the gym. I have seen people say that you can't approach or ask out a woman who's your coworker. It's like, no, keep going. Do you like dating apps? Do you like having to swipe? Do you like having to just try and figure out who he is in the photo? Do you like not being able to tell anything about the guy, sometimes even if he's lying about his height or something like that? Because this is how you create a world where the only way to meet a potential romantic partner is through a dating app. Like, I have literally even seen women make TikToks about like, don't approach me when I'm out with my friends. We're just there to have fun. Girl, you're at a bar. If you're cute and you don't have an RBF, it's likely you'll get approached. Like, I get it. You want the guy to be respectful. You want the guy to take no for an answer, all that, etc. But if you keep it up and you keep shaming men who approach you basically anywhere, you're not going to make it so that no men approach you. You're just going to make it so that the only ones who do are the creeps who didn't care about you being uncomfortable in the first place. And it's really strange and really inconsistent because a lot of the women who are complaining about this stuff also turn around and then complain that they don't like being on dating apps or complain that they don't get approached or complain that men never ask out women these days. And all of those are totally fair complaints, but you don't get to have it both ways. If you're the one doing the shaming, the call is coming from inside the house.
All right, guys, here's another email exchange. And I just want to preface this by saying that people's obsession with physicians needs to be studied, especially in the South Asian community. Okay, 28, female, based in the US, physical therapist, above average looking in my opinion, not open to matches outside the US. She prefers profiles from physicians as she is also in healthcare, and also her father is a doctor, and she has always envisioned herself marrying one as well. Now, this exchange happened after I shared the bios. Her response: thanks, Baji. Everything looks good, but can you confirm what specialty he's doing his residency in before we move forward? So now, some of these things are a little bit of a flag for me because I find that people sometimes, when I try to help them, they have me doing like the admin work for them, kind of going back and forth on their behalf. And I've pretty much made it clear to everybody that I don't have the capacity to do things like that. And I'm not really sure why she can't move forward and ask him these questions herself. And so my response is, I think details about his profession and career prospects are something you can discuss if you're interested in each other following the photos. Is there a reason this needs to be confirmed at this stage? Her response: my father is a doctor and I have an understanding of which specialties I prefer. I would not prefer someone who is in a primary care specialty, unless they plan on specializing further. I hope that makes sense. Now my response. I'll be honest, I'm finding your requirement for not only wanting physician matches, but now further specifying which exact specialties you would consider to be oddly particular. You are not a physician yourself, and your father being a physician is irrelevant. They're marrying you, not your father. Let me know if you'd like to move forward with this match with this information provided. Further than that, I'm not sure my service is right for your needs. Now, the only reason I entertained her so far is because there is a market for people like her where she's educated, she's above average, and there are physicians that would consider her. But now her getting so nitty-gritty and specific about her requirements, it screams ulterior motives and kind of gold diggerish. And just the fact that she called out primary care specialties not good enough for her is just a red flag. She responded, I do want to move forward. I mentioned my father because I know work-life balance for different specialties, but I can talk to him directly. Now, I did move them to the next stage and shared photos, and she wants to move forward. I haven't heard back from him yet. However, I did include a little note to him saying that she has specific requirements on which specialties that she's okay with, and that he should ask her open-ended questions to get to the bottom of that.
And she made a very good point here, where she said something to the effect of, they have you doing the admin work. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these ladies, well, I guess you could say people in general, but I seem to notice that a lot of, well, does he have this? What is that? Check and see what year he's in his residency. Are you a physician? Are you in that line of work? Then what are you asking that stuff for? Well, check and see. If not, I don't want to mess with them. Once again, they feel like they're some sort of gangster, or they feel like they're in some sort of secret society or something like that, to where they take care of that, handle that. You know, I pay you the money to make all of this go away. I'm a big timer. I'm a high roller. When I slide you, so I'm gonna, you know, in those movies where they slide the folder of money out of their pocket and they hand it over discreetly, or they might hand it over in an alleyway. Hey, I'm sending my guy over. Handle that. Take care of that. That's what these modern women think they are.